Today I'm heading to a small lake just inland from the Tasmanian central coast, and I'm going to be using my new Pedal Pro Fish kayak for just the second time. I thought it might be useful for those in the hunt for a more cost-effective way to access the pedal kayak scene to show this kayak actually on the water in a real fishing environment. That's coming up. Looks like we've got the place to ourselves. So it is a bit breezy. That's all right, it'll be a good test. Before we start, I just want to make it clear that I purchased this kayak entirely with my own funds. It's not on loan, neither was it a gift. Good, that's that out of the way. Let's make a start. So just a reminder again, this is the smaller version, the 10'6", 3.2 meters I believe it is. Smaller sister to the 4 meter, 13-foot version. I chose the small one so that it would be much easier to handle, especially to get on the roof of the car. And it is. It weighs 28 kilos without the drive unit, which there's still a bit of weight to it, but compared to the 30s, 40s and 50s that you commonly see with a lot of the more well-known brands, that's pretty reasonable. In terms of comfort, in terms of the cockpit area and the actual comfort of using it and sitting here paddling, I mean, I'm toddling along quite nicely here. My legs are only turning over. Now this is still water, this is a lake, so there's no current or tide against me, but there is a headwind. And there's very little effort involved at this point. This is a trolling speed. I have no idea how deep it is here. And that's another story. I've already purchased a Garmin Fish Finder GPS, which I'll be installing in the next few days. So that should take a little bit of the guesswork out of what's going on beneath me. Drive unit feels very smooth, and it is a circular motion, not a well, it's an exercise bike, not a stepping machine, if that makes sense. So some of the paddle designed kayaks, such as the Hobies, have more of a stepping motion. This is a bit like riding a recumbent bicycle. And of course, the big advantage with this type of system is that you can do this. Put it straight in to reverse and go backwards, which is what we are now doing. You can see the prop wash ahead. So when you head into structure, or you hook into something meaningful, and you need to get yourself out of there before you get tangled up, absolutely ideal. Also, of course, means that you can hold yourself in a current very easily. So you might want to stop at a bridge and fish a bit of structure or whatever when there's a bit of a tide running, like in an estuary or whatever. All very doable. What I'm particularly pleased about is the ease with which you can launch and retrieve the kayak and set it up. And obviously the more times you do it, the quicker you get, but it's very, very easy and not too heavy or cumbersome. No trailer required, not for this size. The 13-foot may be a bit more of a challenge, but I still think it's probably roof toppable. seat's comfortable. I mean, the only thing I've found is that after about 2 or 3 hours I get a bit of a numb bum, but that's a design fault of the bum, not this seat. And easily remedied by a bit of a shimmy and a shuffle. Generally speaking, very comfortable, good lumbar support. As I said, I'm 6'2", about 86 kilos, and very comfortable here. I was concerned, it was always a bit of a gamble, having not tried one or seen one in person, because there aren't any here in Tasmania that I'm aware of. I was relieved and very pleased that there's plenty of room. It's also very stable. Again, you can see how slowly I'm pedalling here, and there's good tension on this rod, there's good tension on that lure, so you know, it's fast enough. Let's have a look in there, a little bit closer to the edge. This is the beauty of this type of system, this type of kayak. You can get into these places that otherwise you just wouldn't be able to. So here's a good example. I'm getting a little bit too close. So let's just come out a little. That's better. Let's see if we can get ashore. Well, while I'm stopped for a coffee, I might as well just give you a quick look at the kayak again. So 10'6" overall, 3.2 metres. It's 87 centimetres wide, 2'10", so you know, nice and stable. 28 kilos without the drive unit, which is another 7.5. That's my incredibly sophisticated milk crate setup on the behind the seat there. Don't follow my example. It's a work in progress, so I'll be personalising this kayak over the next few weeks. Comes with the paddle, comes obviously with the pedal drive. Pedal drive weighs 7.5 kilos, forward and reverse, simply by pedalling either forward or reverse. Comes with 2 rod holders as standard. Nice amount of tracks, not only along the sides here, but also right at the back over there, and also a couple of small ones here forward. 13 litre hatch there, a well, which does have a fairly large scupper hole. I mean, you can probably see all this on the Bay Sports website, but I found it very, very practical, very easy to use, and an absolute pleasure. Anyway, let's get back on the water and try and catch a trout. Right, so let's try the Tasmanian Devil, the Tassie Devil lure. I'm just going to troll that around the edges and see if we can't bump into something interesting.
Paddling the kayak proved to be adequate rather than particularly efficient, but of course it should be remembered that the primary drive method is the pedal drive system. It's good enough to help leaving and returning to the launch site though, and of course I'm still new to all this, and with more time on the water I'm sure I'll improve. I don't believe that any of these types of pedal-driven kayaks are particularly efficient in this regard, and I'd suggest that there are far better options out there if paddling long distance is your thing.
Okay, let's get the drive down.
Unfortunately, I was unable today to get footage of actually lowering and raising the pedal drive, but if you head over to Bay Sports' website by following the link below, there's a good walk-around video showing clearly how this works.
Clear the decks and hope for some action. Might set that a little bit lower actually. which of course is very easy to do just by adjusting that like so. Certainly covering some ground today anyway, trying a variety of lures, so if they ain't biting, they ain't biting.
So after paddling around for some time, enjoyable though that is in itself, my inner fisherman was starting to feel a little despondent. Then, this happened.
Hello. I think we have a fish. Wow. Something just hammered that lure. He's only just waking up. Okay, he's heading for structure. And this is where pedaling backwards comes in handy. Where are you? There you go. Trout. Come on, mate. Oh, he's having a run. So I can pedal away from that structure, which is where he's headed. Looks like a reasonable fish. There he is. Right, one last go. Come on, mate. And there he is. There he is. That's a nice fish. That's a nice fish. I'm going to put him back. There he is. Nice brown trout. First one in the kayak. Back he goes. Off he goes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, apart from the faffery with the net, he was a nice fish. And that's one up for the Tassie Devil, which is now embedded firmly in my shoe. Well, he certainly slammed that lure hard, that's for sure. Gee whiz. That bears testimony to just how efficient these kayaks could be. Oh, I'm just having a blissful pedal around the lake here, and bang! Where there's one, there must be more. That wind seems to be piping up again. Almost whitecaps. And the boat seems to be handling it very well, very well. So there we go, heading into wind and a bit of chop now. And it's handling it absolutely fine. Not a problem. So I think to summarise, I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed with the Pedal Pro fish. I think it does the job as well, and in some circumstances better than certain brands costing 3 times as much. At this price, I think it's outstanding value for money. And as you've seen, you know, I mean, I'm catching fish in it. I'm having a wonderful time out in it. It's very stable. It's very comfortable. It seems pretty robust, time will tell. And it does everything I need it to do. Simple as that, really. So for me, it's a big thumbs up. Now I need to catch another fish. Oh, we're on again. We're on again. There he goes. He's just realised what's happening. I think he can only be a little fella. There he is. Oh, he's not a bad size.
Well, it's been a great day out, and I'm sure you get by now that my initial impressions of the Pedal Pro fish are very positive. It's early days, of course, and I've lots to do to add and improve things that will work for me to enhance my time on the water. I'm also hatching plans for several trips to take this kayak around this beautiful island state of Tasmania that I now call home.
Come on, matey.
So feel free to tag along. Just hit the subscribe button and the bell if you want to know what's going on. And if you decide to buy one of these, there's a discount voucher code also below to help you on your way. So I'll see you out there. Till then, tight lines and cheerio.